Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and you guys know I'm a big Star Wars fan. You know, I'm looking forward to Episode 9, even though The Last Jedi, objectively not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination, I am still holding out hope for Episode 9. Make fun of me all you want for it. I don't give a shit. I might cry. I did it at the end of The Force Awakens. I kind of did it at the end of The Last Jedi, entirely different reasons. But no, I'm not going to film it and put it up on YouTube. I've done that once, never again. But that being said, I do like what Kevin Smith here has to say about a set visit, because Kevin Smith is a diehard fan like I am, has been his whole life. And he always, like me, tends to look to see the best of things, right? Some out there might call him a shill. He'll just say nice things if you put him on TV. It's not always true. He genuinely is a person who loves the kind of stuff that he does for a living. He loves geeking out, and he allows himself to always go to his inner fanboy and start from there and go outward. And I think that is a method that so many more people out there need to utilize, especially here on YouTube. So much of what is on YouTube is just condescending, cynical, pessimistic shit. That's what a lot of it is. Not just in the movie commentary side of things, but literally everything else. So fuck that. Let's talk about Kevin Smith geeking out like a fanboy and whether or not we can use that as a way to get excited. So this here, Star Wars 9 set visit. I wept. Heard plot deals. Film looks fantastic, says Kevin Smith, which is awesome because that is what you want to hear. So it says, The Last Jedi sequel is currently shooting at Pinewood Studios just outside London. The Force Awakens director J.J. Abrams is back at the helm and had a very lucky visitor to the set this week in the form of Kevin Smith. His fellow filmmaker isn't allowed to reveal anything from the highly secretive production, but did express his feelings on Good Morning America. Of Star Wars Episode 9, Smith says, they make you sign many non-disclosure agreements that if I said anything, somebody with a lightsaber would pop out and cut my head off. Now, here's the thing. He went through a lot of that, actually, when he went to the set visit back in 2015 or 2014, 2015 for The Force Awakens, right? And he tells this really great story about it. I heard him tell it at Comic-Con. And he says they talks about the non-disclosures, but there was even a picture of an Imperial officer that on it said, loose lips sink Imperial ships. And it was just like, this is how he describes it. And like, he jokes that was specifically for him. And J.J. Abrams' assistant kind of went, yeah, that's how he tells the joke, at least. And it makes sense. So he very much is enthusiastic, but he understands that there's a lot of red tape that goes into these kind of set visits. I mean, there's a lot of freaking secrecy. Now, Smith went on to say here, but I do want to say this. Number one, JJ is doing the Lord's work. This movie looks fantastic. And here, yeah, let's discuss that for a hot second here. The Last Jedi was so divisive to the fan base. It did more to cripple it than it did to build it up. It did more to hurt it than it did to bring it together. Because here it is, a year later, almost a year to the day. We got about a week to fucking go. All right, like 8 days to go from right now until we hit a whole year, and the movie is still causing fans to fight. People have entered into the debate over The Last Jedi in the same way you fight with family over politics over Christmas dinner. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's that divisive. So yes, J.J. Abrams is in fact doing the Lord's work on this one, and Kevin's entirely right. Now, he says, it's a year away, but man, it looks fantastic. I wept on set because I saw somebody give a career best performance, somebody I've seen in these movies before. I rolled a tear. It was so darn powerful. But who could it have been? Perhaps Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost. It's possible. It's possible. I would argue someone we've seen in these movies before. All right. So it could be Mark Hamill. It could be Billy D. Williams. It's not going to be Carrie Fisher. That's unfortunate. It's possible that it even could be Harrison Ford. It's possible that it could be that. We have no idea. It could be Harrison Ford because fans want him to come back, and it's possible that they brought him back. It's possible that it could be Rey. It could be Finn. It could be Poe. We have no idea. We have no idea. Somebody who I've seen in these movies before. So it doesn't indicate OG trilogy, right? It could even be C-3PO. It could be C-3PO where he has, he puts aside his douchey nature and actually ends up like giving a solid performance. I have no idea. But the fact is, it could be anyone. It really could. Now, he goes on to say here, it's the biggest set I've seen in my life. The dude's not directing a movie. He's like directing a small country. The thing is so massive, and I sat there for a week and watched 2 scenes get filmed. One of them was absolutely amazing. I heard plot details and stuff. The movie is going to be fantastic. Okay, so hold on here. So he spent a week at Pinewood Studios hanging out on set, watching J.J. Abrams make the movie. Now, in Force Awakens, this is where it gets interesting. In Force Awakens, he was there for a day. He watched the scene, I believe it was the scene outside of Maz Kanata's place, right? That was like the battle scene outside Maz Kanata's place is where I think he was at. And he watched that whole thing go down. This whole battle sequence go down. And he was there for a week and he watched 2 scenes get filmed, which means that these are epic battle scenes. These are going to be insanely full of action, right? Probably a lot of on the ground stuff, probably a lot of First Order troopers versus the Resistance or whatever's left, or a whole bunch of Jedi stuff. Who freaking knows? But he heard plot details. He says the movie's going to be fantastic. Now, this is where people are going to start questioning it, right? It's Kevin Smith. He's just a fanboy. He's just a shill. What does he know? The dude is a fan. And I want that to be the number one thing here. I want that to be the number one thing people take away from this, right? That Kevin Smith is a fan. Above all else, a fan who's never been deterred by a lot of the BS that's pushed a lot of fans away from Star Wars. And it's not... I've met the dude multiple times. I've watched him speak in person multiple times. I've watched him at Comic-Con since 2001 to like just 2 years ago. I saw him at Comic-Con. I've watched this dude for years. All right. Like I've listened to the podcast. Like I'm not trying to say like I know Kevin Smith, but I have a feeling I have a good, solid understanding of who this dude is. All right. And so he's a fan through and through. He always starts from that place first, right? What does a fan think of this? Instead of a filmmaker or someone who knows the industry, then he'll go to those places. But he always starts as a fan. And so I think if he's out there saying like, yes, this is going to be insane, I think he's more happy. I don't think he was a big fan I don't think he was a huge fan of The Last Jedi. I just don't think so. He doesn't talk about it very often. But he brings up the episode 7 stuff a bit. So we'll have to wait on that one. Now, the question is, when are we going to see a teaser? When are we going to see a trailer? The movie's still shooting right now. It's a year away. We didn't see the first teaser trailer for Star Wars: The Force Awakens until I think around February or March 2015. So we've got a ways to go until we're going to see something. I mean, even in 2017 for last year for The Last Jedi, we didn't start seeing anything till around April, May, somewhere in there. I think the first trailer was in late April, early May. Right. And you had to wait a whole 6 months and some change. So there's that. I think that's where it's at. But I'm gonna back Kevin on this one. Right. I've criticized The Last Jedi long enough. I still will criticize it. Everything else. I plan on rewatching it this next week in order to do a more comprehensive kind of a year later review to see if my opinions on it have changed. Probably not, but just figured it'd be something to do. But I think that, the dude is coming at this from a fan perspective, and I think that's how he wants to play it. So anyway, I don't know. I leave it to you guys. What do you think about this? Let me know down in the comments. Do you think Kevin Smith is right? Is he wrong? What's going on? I'll talk to you guys later about this. Oh yeah, leave your thoughts. Type in AT80 if you happen to be here in the chat, or you can call into our voicemail line at 818-350-3281. That's 818-350-3281. My name's of course Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day and peace out.